Welcome friend. Here we see distance vector routing algorithm. In our previous video we see the intra-domain and inter-domain routing protocols. So from them we start first distance vector routing algorithm. Here I have already sketched a network diagram and the routing tables to reduce the time of the sketching and marking this table. Here we are having five different routers. Sometime we also called the routers are node. That's why I'm giving them the name n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5. Here they having cost, routing cost. We also say this value in a graph like a weight, and this link means age. So here we are having the routing cost from n1 to n2 1, n2 to n5 3, n5 to n4 4, and n4 to n3 is 2, and n2 to n3 is 6. So this is the routing cost of the routers between each other. Okay, so here we are having the five different routing tables of them. So how to fill this routing table we'll see here. Suppose first we'll start with n1. So the first column is what? Destination. Second is distance, and last is what? Next. Okay, if you are unable to read it, so please listen carefully. First column for destination, second column for distance, and third column for next hop or next node. So let's start. So n1 to n1, n1 to n1, cost is what? Distance is what? 0. We don't have any cost for n1 to n1, and the next is what? N1 as it is. Then this routing table for n1. So n1 to n2, n1 to n2, we have the link n1 to n2, and the cost is what? 1, means distance is 1, and the next is what? N2. We reach at n2. Then n1 to n3, n1 to n3, we know from n1 to n2, but we don't know, means n1 is don't know what is exactly cost of n3. So that's why I just simply put it down infinity, and next is dash. Then n1 to n4, again here n1 only know the nearest node, that is what? N2. So n1 don't know about n4, so leave it, write it infinity dash. Then n1 to n5 same as previous. Why? Because of n1 only know the link or cost of n1 to n2, that is 1. So this is infinity, and the next hope is what? Dash. So the next for n2, here n1 to, this is n2 table, n2 to n1, we know the value of n1 to n2 is 1. So n2 to n1 is same, that is what? 1. So n2 to n1 1, and we reach at n1. The next here n2 to n2, n2 to n2, that is what? 0, and we are reaching at n2. Then n2 to n3, n2 to n3, the cost is what? 6, and the next is what? Next node is n3. Then n2 to n4, n2 to n4, that is not possible for n2. Why? Because of n2 only know about the neighboring node, that is n1, n3 and n5. So here put it down infinity, and the next hoop is dash. N2 to n5, so here n2 to n5 is a single link available, dedicated link is available. So the cost of that link is 3, and the next node, next router is n5. Okay, so simply again we are having n3. So we go through first column for destination, distance and next. So this routing table for n3. So n3 to n1, n3 to n1, we don't know what exactly. Why? Because of n3 is only know to n2 and n4, means neighboring. Okay, so put it down infinity dash n3 to n2, n3 to n2. Here we are having n3 to n2, that is what, 6, n3 to n2 6, and after that uh, use this link, we reach at n2. Then n3 to n3, that is n3 to n3 means 0, and we reach at n3. Then n3 to n4, n3 to n4, cost is 2, we reach at n4. Then n3 to n5, it's not possible, so put it down infinity, and next is dash. Okay, the next is what, n4. So this table for n4, so n4 to n1, so n4 only know to n5 and n3, so that is not possible for n4 to exactly get the distance, so put it down infinity. This is next. N4 to n2, n4 to n2, that is not possible also, so put it down infinity dash. Then n4 to n3, n4 to n3, yes, here is the link available, so cost is 2. The next next node is what, n3. Okay, the next here n4 to n4, yes, it's possible, cost is 0, we're reaching at n4. The next n4 to n5, n4 to n5, yes, there is link available, cost is 4, and our next node is n5. Okay, similarly we'll see the last one, that is what, n5, the routing table of n5. So here the first column for destination, second for distance, and third for next. So see here, n5 to n1, n5 to n1 is not possible. Why? Because of n5 just know the neighboring node. So here n5 to n1 infinity dash n5 to n2, yes, there is dedicated link, n5 to n2, cost is 3, we're reaching at n2. N5 to n3, n5 to n3 is not possible, so put it down infinity dash n5 to n4, yes, n5 to n4 is there, so we reach at n4. Then n5 to n5, yes, it is possible with 0, and we're reaching at n5. Okay, simply here we fill the routing tables of each router. So next step is what, here how to use distance vector. Here distance vector, it means what, this distance means this array we are having here in our computer language, we called it, this is array, the distance 0 1 infinity infinity infinity. Okay, so here the two things you should be remember, that is what, the routing table or distance vector share only with neighbor and only distance vector. We share information with only neighbor, and what kind of information we share with neighbor? Only distance vector, and distance vector is nothing but this column. Okay, or this column. Okay, then so here suppose we are having the different network, so at n2, so n2 possible information for n2 is what, at n2 we can access the information of n5 n3. Then at n3 we can we have the routing information or distance vector, that is what, at n3 just n2 and n4, n2 and n4 at n3, and at n4, at n4 there is possibility just n5 and n3. The next n5, at n5 we have the distance vector, or we may got the information of neighboring node, that is what, n4 and n2. Okay, so we'll take an example here. Suppose n1 to n2, so here we are having the distance vector of n2. So distance vector of n2, the value of n2's distance is what? 1, 0, 6, infinity and 3. So we keep it as it is, 1, 0, 6, infinity and 3. So let's start. This is a new table for n1. So we're trying to generate new routing table for n1. So destination are same, n1, n2, n3, n4 and n5. And here the distance, second column and third column is next. So from n1 to n1, we know the cost is what? 0, and the next node is what? 1. The next n1 to n2, so you don't directly go like previous routing table. Here we are having the value, look at here, suppose n1 to n1, that is what? 0, and n1 to n2, that is what? 1. So 0 plus 1, which is equals to 1. So that's why we are right here 1, and the next node is what? 2. Then n1 to n3, now here we know the value of, sorry, one second, this is what? n1 to n2, this is 1. Okay, so that's 0 plus 1, which is equals to 1. So n1 to n3, so it's not possible to directly go from n1 to n3. We should be go through via n2. So here n1 to n2 is what? 1. Then n2 help us to move or to reach up to the n3. So n2 to n3, we are having cost is 6. So 1, n1 to n2 is 1, and n2 to n3 is 6. So 1 plus 6, which is equals to 7. So n1 to n3 is what? 7, and next node is what? Yes, we reach at n3. Okay, the next n1 to n4, we know the value of n1 to n2, that is 1. Definitely we go through the n2. So why? Because of directly n1 to n4 we cannot be moved. So here n1 to n2 is 1, and n2 to n4, that is what? Infinity. So just n1 to n4 is what? Infinity. So 1 plus infinity, which is equals to definitely infinity. So write it as it is, infinity, and this is dash. The next is what? n1 to n5. So for that, n1 to n2, this is our first step, this is 1. The next n2 help us to reach up to the n5. So n2 to n5, we are having the distance vector, that is n2 to n5, this is 3. So write it down here, 1 plus 3, which is equals to 4. So this is 4, and we reach at n5. Okay, this is very simple. We'll take another one example. Due to the lack of space, for taking next example, it's not possible here, but you can try at your own level. So whenever we draw the new routing table, so automatically the rest of the routing table are automatically get updated. You have the same logic and try to do at your own level. If you have any problem, then please ask me. I will try to resolve your problem, or I will try to make a more video on this same problem if you are not able to understand it. But I hope if you try to solve rest of the routing table, then definitely you will do it. Whatever your opinion, you will ask me in a comment box. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel Dharaz Infotech. Please don't forget press the notification bell icon which helps you to notify the upcoming videos. Thank you.